Set out all of the utensils and ingredients, but you can leave your milk and cheese and stuff in the fridge. So get your noodles. And our next step is to fill the wok halfway with water and set it on the... Fill the wok halfway with hot water. And you'll know it's about halfway when it gets to about right here. Now we'll turn the heat to high and we stay right next to the wok. So when it starts to bubble, we add in our noodles. The water is beginning to boil, so I'm going to add my noodles, salt them, and set the timer for 7 minutes. The noodles that I chose were shells, so I'll add this to the water and set my timer. If it starts to bubble too much, you can always turn your heat down just a little bit. When your timer goes off, stir the noodles one more time and then drain them in a colander or a strainer in the sink. To strain the noodles, set the colander in the sink first, and then using both hands, grab the handle and the side and turn off your stove. So grab the handle and the side, and when we pour it into the sink, it's going to be heavy, so we pour it away from us so that the steam goes away from our face. Just like this. We'll set the wok on the side that's not hot, and we can leave the noodles in the sink or we can set them off to the side too. But we'll let this cool down for just a second. We'll take our wok and put it back onto the heat and put it onto low medium, like a 2.5, 3, or 4, and add in the half stick of butter. And when it starts to melt, we'll use our whisk to kind of move it around. And then we'll need to add in our flour. Once the butter starts to melt down, we'll add in our 1/2 cup of flour. And then using your whisk, you'll bring the butter and the flour together. And this is called making a roux. So it should look like brown crumbles like this. Next, we need to add in the milk. So the recipe calls for 5.5 cups of milk, but in our recipe, we are also using 5.5 cups of milk. Excellent. Once you've added in your 5.5 cups of milk, you whisk it all together. So those brown chunks that are still there in the bottom, you want to whisk kind of fast to blend it all in. Make sure your heat is on low. Once you have stirred up all of the brown chunks with the milk, it should look like this, and you shouldn't see any more brown coming up. And this is the base for your mac and cheese sauce. So now you can add in some salt and pepper and add in the 3 packages of cheese. After your spices, start to add in your cheese. Yum. There's lots of different kinds of shredded cheese. You can use the mac and cheese one or shred some various cheeses yourself. After the cheese sauce is ready, add the noodles and then mix it all together. And you won't want to use your whisk anymore. You'll switch to the spoon. And you'll stir it all together, getting the cheese on each noodle piece, and then you can add more seasoning depending on the taste. Once you're done, turn off your stove and serve to yourself and clean up.